in your book, you say that Satan has been actively trying to cover up who he really is and what God truly says about him. Tell us about the deception in the name Lucifer, son of dawn, and what deep insights from the Hebrew language you were able to find and then reveal in your brand new book.
Well, a lot of translations, or most of the translations in Isaiah 14 call Lucifer, oh, how you have fallen, Lucifer, son of the morning.
Okay.
Now, or morning star. Now, morning star can only be Jesus. Only Yeshua is the morning star. And so that's an inaccurate translation.
Okay.
The word Lucifer is Latin, I believe. It's Latin. It's Latin, and it gives the subtitle of who he is, but it's not his name. And so in Hebrew, it says Shachar ben Halel. The word Shachar ben Halel in Hebrew means son of worship dawn.
Okay.
Or dawn, son of worship. It doesn't say morning star. Now, only in the book of Revelation, Jesus is referred to as the morning star. In the book of Peter, Peter refers to the morning star. The word morning star in Hebrew is kochav. We don't find that word in Isaiah. And so we see here the Chaldean spirit working overtime to deceive the body of Yeshua. And I see tons of teachings out there where people are trying to justify that Lucifer is the morning star and Jesus is the morning star. Is it possible that God will call Lucifer the morning star when he's the morning star? That's impossible. And so I get into it in my book. A lot of scholars have seen it. There's a deep teaching in the book, Unmasking the Chaldean Spirit. I'm just going to touch a little bit on it right now.
Okay.
And so when we look at the name morning star, first of all, what does it mean, Shachar ben Halel? Shachar means dawn. Halel means worship. Where we get our name in Hebrew, hallelujah, that comes from the word Halel. So we know that Satan was a worship leader.
Okay.
It says it also in many places.
Yeah.
And so that he's talking about his position in heaven. You were a worship leader.
Past tense.
Oh, past tense. Oh, how you have fallen. And the word dawn over there doesn't mean morning star. It means that worship always starts at dawn. There's many Bible passages that show that.
Especially in the Psalms. Yeah.
And we go to the crucifixion of Yeshua, of Jesus. Mary visited the tomb and it was what? It was dawn. It was a picture that Yeshua crushed. Shachar ben Halel crushed the morning, the dawn. The worship leader once and for all.
True morning
the true
star.
morning star crushed dawn. He's not the morning star. And so we see the deception working in various places in the Bible. And this is what Unmasking the Chaldean Spirit does. It reveals all these fake entities in the Bible that we see.
Yeah. Those of us that have more modern translations, it may not have the word Lucifer, but it will say son of the morning star.
Yeah.
Well, we see that in the English, and even scholars, English scholars who have PhD in Hebrew, they understand Hebrew, they can write it, they can speak it, they're scholarly, but they weren't born with the language. They don't understand the nuances.
Right. Absolutely.
See? So they're approaching it from an academic standpoint.
Yes.
If I was to describe that town to him academically, I would say, well, this is just a quiet, quaint little place now. Used to be a thriving industry place. And we'd have gone on. That's the academic.
It, right.
But if I would have translated it to Hebrew, it would have came out a whole different context.
Right.
Oh, yes,
Right.
absolutely.
When he gets to Isaiah 14, he understands innately the nuances where
that
our
makes perfect
English
sense.
scholars,
Absolutely.
they just translated it in a technical sense and they missed it. They missed it.
Well, and what Derek and I have discovered digging into Halal ben Shakar is that Shakar is the name of an entity.
It is a Canaanite demonic entity that was one of the sons of their creator, God El. But even more than that, we are the first generation of access to some of this information because we know that based on texts found from ancient Syria in a Canaanite kingdom called Ugarit. And among those texts are the so-called Rephaim texts that describe them as ancient warriors, mighty men who were of old, if you catch my drift. And they mount their chariots to be summoned to this ritual meal at the threshing floor of El, which is Mount Hermon. And they mount their chariots, they travel first one day and then another, and they arrive at dawn of the third day.
Yes.
Yeah. Dawn of
the third day. Right.
Everything's accounted for.
The blessing of the name of El will revivify or resurrect the heroes. It's a false resurrection. And that's the context of Isaiah 14.
Chaldean spirit.
And so like what Carl's getting into, we're not saying that it was deliberately done. It was. It could be a language issue, but I believe behind it is the Chaldean spirit.
Yes.
Oh,
Which trying to continue to be God.
Yep.
And trying to continue to blind the church.
And